Hello, Sam from the VXR Collection. Me and Storm sitting in the insignia. Right, so welcome back. Today we're going to be doing the rear springs on the VXR Estate. This went in for a service at York, Warden, Rowlett and Wellingborough, and on the way there heard quite a distinctive twang, which usually indicates that one of the springs has tried to escape, and sure enough it did. So rear springs are here. I need to also change two of the exhaust sleeve clamps. One is completely missing, so that's disappeared. Another one has got a crack in it. So two things to do really. So yeah, as you can see, Storm's not overly fast. Okay, so yeah, we're going to get into it. Okay, so I've just pulled this near side spring out. So they're relatively easy to do on these. You just got to be careful. Try and waste the torch in such a way so you can see what I'm talking about. So on the near side especially, you've got, this is the xenon leveling sensor on the rear. So right down here you see this tiny little ball joint. If you get a flathead screwdriver, just simply pop the arm off, because you'll need to remove that. So when you take the bolt out of the rear hub on the lower arm, obviously that will twang down under its own compression of the spring, but you will also need to force it a little bit further down to actually get the spring out, but the sensor arm won't allow you to do that without it snapping off. Luckily I've never done it, but I appreciate that in your haste of trying to get the spring out and replaced, it's an easy thing to overlook. So definitely remember this on the near sides. It's only the near side that's got it, the offside hasn't. Otherwise it just simply would be a case of taking the wheel off, taking the, what size Torx is it? It is a, well, I've used an E20 on this side, and it's an 18mm nut on the other side. Use a breaker bar, keep it tight, and then as soon as the sort of the tension on the bolt and nut let go, you can simply just unwind it. The threads are quite long. Your arm will hurt, trust me, unless you've got a power tool, in which obviously this can make it a bit of a breeze. But I'm a bit old school in that respect, so I only use manual stuff. So once you've lost the feeling in your right arm trying to undo the bolt, it will eventually come out, and then you can pull the spring out, and then obviously rebuilding is just as easy to do in reverse. So yeah. Okay, so here is the spring from the near side rear. As you can see, quite distinctly broken, but there is actually a clean section on the brake. You can see it there, so it wasn't a lot holding this thing together. So lovely British Rose obviously finished it off, but so I'm going to replace them, the springs as a pair anyway. I've got a pair which I managed to get off of eBay, KYB springs. I've checked the part numbers matched, and I've laid them next to the new one, and it's the correct ones, so I'm happy. But yeah, it's just good practice to anything suspension related, suspension and brakes to be fair, to change as a pair, because obviously new springs and old springs can make the car behave a little bit strange. So if you're going to be doing it, it's definitely advisable to do anything suspension related as a pair, just so that it behaves properly on the road. So yeah, I'll go grab the new springs and we'll get cracking. So there we go then, one new coil. Got a pair of the other ones there. KYB coils, managed to get these on the internet, relatively cheap, but they are for the VXR. I've just put it up next to the one that I took off, and it is the same size, so yeah. Okay, so that's the near side spring fitted. The xenon leveling centre arm is reinstalled or refitted. Bolt is back in, nice and tight. So that's the near side done. Just going to move on to the offside, and then we'll get into the exhaust clamps. So you join me underneath the VXR Estate. So this is what's left of the rear centre, well, rear, what do you call it? The Y piece, yeah, the Y piece sleeve clamp. Basically, where it's split in half is where it's cracked, and it literally had about 2mm left of the original metal. So 2 hits of the hammer and it literally just shatters. So literally got a couple of I think it's 2.5 inch sleeve clamps off of eBay, stainless steel. So literally just feed it on, bolt it around. I appreciate there's a bit of a gap there, but it is tight. I can assure you it is tight. So yeah, that's one done, and then the other one is much further down, pretty much where the secondary cat is. I think it's the secondary cat to centre box sleeve. That's where I've got to do the next one. So a lot less run down there, but as you can see, I've got this up on ramps now. So yeah, springs are done, nice and shiny. Yeah, next sleeve, here we come. There we go then. So that's the secondary cat into centre box sleeve clamp fitted as well. So that one was completely missing apparently. So nice and easy to fit, to be fair. Just slide it over and clamp it on. So all done. Right, you now join me inside your Arden Estate, VXR. So we're going to take it for a quick blast, just to make sure we're happy with everything. Make sure it's not knocking or banging or whatever, but I don't think it will. I had to reseat the near side rear again. I wasn't happy with how it was sitting in the spring pad at the top, so I disassembled it all and then rebuilt it, and it sits a lot better. So obviously just people weren't happy on how it was sitting. So yeah, that's now good. So let's go for a blast and let's see how it behaves. Okay, so that's everything done on the VXR Estate. So rear springs are done. I've taken it for a test drive, and yeah, so no concerns there, no knocking or banging. Everything looks good underneath. The springs are now seated properly, and the clamps are on, so I've checked them, they're not leaking, and everything's tight, so there's no flexibility at all, which is good. Only thing I've got to do on this, from what was reported from the health check on the service, I've got to do the offside inner tie rod, because I believe they've suggested that's got a slight bit of play, but I haven't felt any difference when it's driving. It doesn't behave any differently. I did jack the wheel up, and there is I mean minimal amount. So I've got the tie rods. Just need to speak to a friend of mine, Liam at STS Tyre Pros, who's very kindly offered to help sort that out, and then do the wheel alignment afterwards, because obviously if you're going to be taking the track radiator off, you've got to then take into consideration that once you rebuild it, the track can more than likely be out. So once it's fitted, it can then go straight on the wheel alignment ramp and get realigned. So yeah, so for now that's the VXR Auto Estate done. So not really anything else to do on the blue one. So until next time, appreciate you subscribing, thanks for viewing, and catch you soon. Bye for now.